Hi, we're the huge movie fanatics here to do our review for Mission Impossible 2. What a creative title that is. It always doesn't bother you when sequels don't like give you a subtitle or something like that. They're just like 2.
Oh, you mean like Lost World?
Lost World,
something
yeah.
like that.
They should be a little creative. Give me a little something.
Yeah, well, it might be too confusing for the audiences of
Yeah,
modern day. It's like, well, what? I can barely remember Mission Impossible 2. So,
Yeah. Well, anyway, so Mission Impossible 2. As I said, I with the previous review, I was not a huge fan of the first one, and when I saw this in the theater for the first time, I sort of had to be dragged to see it because I didn't like the first movie, and one of my friends at the time was hardcore into it, so he dragged me to see this. And at the time, I was like, you know what, that was a step up. I really liked that movie. So I went into this one now being familiar with the body of work that the director John Woo's done. I'm a huge fan of Gun Fu, his great Hong Kong police stories and stuff, namely A Better Tomorrow, one of my favorite movies. So I was excited to see his Mission Impossible take, because I remembered nothing from this movie outside of him being on a bike and it, for whatever reason,
right.
being orange.
It's slow-mo and being cool with sunglasses.
And the thing that I immediately noticed with this movie is that it is unlike any of the other
That's
movies.
exactly
It is.
right. You mean the Mission Impossible?
Yeah, like this movie is a great action movie, not a good Mission Impossible movie. But
I agree.
I do like it a lot better than the first one.
I don't agree.
I'm going to give this one a suitable 3 stars. The action in the movie is really pretty awesome. It doesn't feel at all like hyper real like the first movie, which Brian De Palma was trying to show you a realistic spy thriller.
Yeah.
John Woo is probably not the best person to follow that up because he just throws things at your face kind of thing. He's very in your face director, which works with his movies, like Better Tomorrow and Hard Boiled and Face Off. But this time it didn't really pan out because of the subject matter. That said, I really like Tom Cruise, even though he's entirely different in performance in this than he was in the first one. Like, they should have almost called him a completely different character. Like, he wasn't like at all like, he was like this suave James Bond kind of dude. But this one was really interesting because the first 25 minutes of this movie are incredible. I was sitting there like with boyish glee, like, man, this is amazing! How come I don't remember this movie? And that's because after the 25-minute mark, the movie falters for an hour, where it's just like, what am I trying to do? What is the story of this? And it doesn't really recover until they just throw action at you at the end. And the action is so cool at the end that you kind of go with it. Even though the ending of the movie is Mortal Kombat. Like, it's just 2 guys having a street fight to the death. And I'm like, and I'm a Mortal Kombat fan. So I kind of dug watching...
The game or the movie?
Game, movies,
Mortal Kombat, anything, even the novel?
I have read the novel. I have 2 novels, Mortal Kombat. I had 3, I sold one. Anyway, so I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, so I like the street fight thing at the end, even though it's just like, these guys are beating the crap out of each other, not taking any damage for like 15 minutes. That fight goes on so long, that probably should have been cut down.
And then Tom Cruise, I think, does some kicks which are probably aided by wires and taken out as completely not doable.
That's one of the things that, like...
He does one where he flips around and lands on his feet, and it's like...
That's what I thought was so weird is, like, the other movies are kind of about the spy nature or the gunplay, and this one started out with gunplay and I was kind of fine with it, and then all of a sudden it just switches to, like, this street fight, and then they're doing, like, weird action stuff that you expect out of, like, Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, and it just felt like a 90s video game. But I kind of like that. I would like the movie a lot if it wasn't called Mission Impossible 2. So there you have it. I do really like I'm going to disagree with you based on the first one. You really like the girl in that, and I think Thandie Newton, who's in this one, is the best of the Bond chicks. See, there you go.
She wasn't even in the Bond yet.
best of the Mission Impossible chicks. She's fantastic, and I really liked her. There's something charming, especially when she's being the cat burglar in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
like,
well,
that stuff is great, and the tango that that's going on, and then they're just sort of watching each other and on the prowl. And then when they're having the car ride, the music kicks back.
Yeah,
and
that
they're
was a little.
I love
that.
that. That was my favorite scene in the movie. I think that's my favorite scene of the franchise.
Oh my god.
So I like that. The one thing that I didn't comment about last time for Mission Impossible, one of the coolest things was they did the, like, from the TV show, the pull the mask off thing, and it looks so real and so awesome. They do it again in this one 40,000 times. Like, this movie
they do it a lot, don't they?
It does it, like, to overkill. So much so that it's like, I never want to see that special effect ever again.
And I don't think we ever do.
You see it a little bit in the third one. I think you see it. Is it in the fourth one?
I don't even think anyone. I think they even mentioned that they don't even wear them. It's like because Simon Pegg always was like, "Do I get to wear a mask?" And he's like,
they're making the mask, and the mask fails.
Breaks.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I knew that there was a mask that came into the fourth one. Anyway, so this one I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
Like, the first one was really confusing because the writers were trying to confuse people. This one was really confusing because you're like, who is who?
Yeah, I know.
To the point where you just stop caring and you just watch action happen. I like the stuff with the birds and the doves and flying. That's cool. The John Woo touches are nice. So anyway, I'm going to give the movie 3 stars. How about you?
Yeah, I think it's my least favorite. All of Mission Impossibles. It doesn't feel like any of the rest of the, which is now 3 other movies. Mm-hmm. It's the change was so great. Like you said, probably if it wasn't a Mission Impossible, it'd be another story. But it just, for me, it doesn't. Yeah, it's so blatant. I mean, it's so blatant. Tom Cruise just, I want to look as cool as I possibly can. Right. How can I do that? Well, I'll start hanging off a cliff, and I'll be smiling by my pinky, and get some more wind in the hair and.
Yeah, his hair is like so pretty boy.
And this is just a relaxing morning cliff climb, before breakfast, and it's just like, and this whole stupid thing of the helicopter flying and shooting this missile and then pulling out the sunglasses. I mean,
I thought that was so cool.
It was so stupid.
I loved it. That was so good.
I did like the John Woo imagery of when he puts on the glasses of when he's watching. I don't know if he's watching a video or just hearing it, but what he was just doing with the camera, with Tom Cruise, he was just static because he's hearing stuff, and because the background was so huge, it just, with the camera movement, it just looked kind of cool. And then he throws the glasses, and the self-destruct, and throws them at the screen.
What a great scene, ruined by terrible dialogue and terrible delivery. Like, that was such a Shatner moment. If I told you, it wouldn't be a holiday.
Yeah. That was totally like demands 3D conversion.
Yeah. It was just so, like, the dialogue and the delivery was just so bad. Like, I give it to him. There's no way to deliver that line and sound convincing.
Yeah, to me it was just like, I want to be cool. The first movie was more serious. I want to be cool now. And in retrospect, I mean, I kind of like it at the time because I was big on John Woo at the time. I still like him, but I don't. He's since stopped kind of doing stuff, or at least stuff that he did another movie in Hong Kong, I think, right? Which really didn't get a release here or anything like that. So I'm not so much John Woo anymore. I mean, I still like the Hong Kong stuff, which I think is his best, obviously. So in retrospect, I'm just going to go 2 stars. I think that it's just like an eye candy. It's more of what you'd expect from a summer blockbuster, just, kind of flashy stuff and pointless. And I don't like the whole stupid protagonist thing, the chimera. The bad disease in the
to create your hero, you have to create a villain, and that we did. And I'm like, oh, so it's like about a superpower guy, and then it's about this weird disease thing. I was like, okay.
I didn't like that disease thing, and it's like people,
I think the problem with it is that they didn't really have a really talented screenwriter. This is the only one that I think suffers from really poor screenwriting because the dialogue is so bad. So action movie like crap that you'd expect out of like the early 80s action movies. it just didn't really pan out. But I do like it because it's visually it's good eye candy. But like if Mission Impossible was Tom Cruise showcasing his abilities, why, when he produced this, did he like, let's just make it so that I'm smiling on camera a lot? And that was his performance in that second movie, smiling and then having his hair flip around when he's doing his stunts.
What I thought was so funny is that he just meets this girl, right? And so he's known this girl for maybe 2 days, and then he's asked to send her back to her past boyfriend, and he's all jealous, and he's like, I don't know how I feel about that. And it's like, you've known her for 2 days. You know, and it's just like, I didn't know that. And then in the drama, you know, the drama, a little bit of that they do put in there like that right there. It's just so like, oh God.
And it's really poorly performed on everybody's part, which is weird because they're all good actors. I've seen her in other things. She's a really good actress. And I've seen like the not the main villain, but the pretty tall blonde villain who loses his pinky.
Oh gosh, that guy.
I've seen him in other things, and he's good.
That was so funny. Like there was a time after he lost it where it's got the bandage on it. He just like scratches his pinky for no reason, and he's just like.
They're trying to really just show you, make you remember that.
That's how bad the bad guy is. The bad guy, I just remember the bad guy right now. I thought he was funny too and just stupid.
Yeah,
and when was it Thandie Newton or whatever? She takes off her. Unfortunately, you don't see it, but she takes off her clothes. And the shot of his face. Do you remember that? He's like, like, oh my God. I've never seen this before. There's just a lot of dumbness in there. And then his buddy from Eyes Wide Shut, which is the Russian guy, who probably met on Eyes Wide Shut, he's like, come on, I'm doing a movie. So the Chimera, so 2 stars. I think it's my least favorite on all 4, and that's it. Are you done?
Yeah.
I'm done. Why would I tell you where I'd be? It wouldn't be a holiday. Take it easy.
I don't think I can do it.
You mean it'll be difficult?
Very.
Well, this is not mission difficult, Mr. Hunt. It's mission impossible. Difficult should be a walk in the park for you.
You gotta be kidding.
This message will destruct in 5 seconds.